Om Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabhiryankaravavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तम् तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये माम् नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियं येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहबद्धिरवाप्यते ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अथ ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततः मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि।
Clarification. Ram Subramaniam. Question. Among those that are perishable, the following have been mentioned: karma, pala, sharira, emotions, knowledge. Within the same birth and across different births is knowledge of Brahman perishable. Yeah, there are two things. We discuss something as perishable, and then something that we are asking is, amongst those that are perishable, the following have been mentioned: karma, pala, sharira, raga, dvesha, knowledge, etc. are all perishable. Within the same birth and across different births is knowledge of Brahman perishable. Answer. Ram Subramaniam. If you mean knowledge of Brahman as memorizing the verses of the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, you will forget it. That you will forget. You have by-hearted the verses, you have understood the meaning of the verses, and you have appreciated the meaning also. And that knowledge of Brahman will be lost. Why? Because it has not transformed your personality. Because transformation of personality didn't happen, that knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will be forgotten. Suppose if you say knowledge of Brahman as a knowledge of scriptures. When you say knowledge of Brahman as in doing all spiritual practices, forget only the scriptures, doing all spiritual practices, like being a little bit of unselfish, being visiting temples, little bit of discourses, you have been doing all this together, which is also knowledge of Brahman. Will this perish? Yes, it will perish. This also will perish. Then what knowledge of Brahman will not perish? What knowledge of Brahman will not perish? That knowledge by which a transformation has happened, the transformation will not perish. So knowledge of Brahman, instead of using the knowledge of Brahman, use the word transformation. You follow? Transformation means to whatever extent you have lived a virtuous, dharmic, spiritual life, that effect will not perish. So what will not perish? The benefit of unselfishness. You will go to Punya Loka, you will get Punya Karma, Swarga Loka, that will perish. That we have studied any number of times already. You're able to follow. Then knowledge of Brahman will not perish. As in the 8th chapter, he said, Nahi Kalyana Kaschit Durgatim Tata Gacchati. You will be born in the family of wise yogis or dharmic rich people. Both are impossible. Yeah, he said you can't be dharmic and rich also at the same time. Either you are rich or dharmic. So what is this dharmic rich people family you will be born, he said, in the 8th chapter. So what knowledge of Brahman will not perish? That will come with you. What will not perish? Whatsoever genuine effort you put to spiritually evolve, that brings about a transformation of the personality. Again, whatsoever genuine effort you put, that will bring about a transformation of your personality. Now, what does genuine effort means? Arpana buddhi, prasada buddhi, etc. All that is the genuine effort. Okay. In order to make it very clear, understand the sequence of human progression itself. At the grossest level, human beings are selfish, self-centered, materialistic. To fulfill their desires, they don't bother about violating any law, any principle. For them, what matters? My desires and my wants, that's all. When I want it, I will do anything to get it. Based on this weird law, only people say all is fair in love and war. It's a weird law. Are you able to follow? People say all is fair in love and war. We say no. Even in love and war, there has to be a law. Therefore, at the grossest level of human existence, how does a human being exist? Fulfilling their own desires without any sense of dharma at all in it. These people are called materialistic people. Are you able to follow this? Now, from this materialistic level, you go to the next level. What is the next level of growth that you will go to? We can't tell that person gain Brahma Vidya directly. To this materialistic person, what will be told? Fulfill your materialistic desires. Don't suppress your desires. Don't frustrate your desires, but do it guided by dharma. Do it guided by that. Now, what is guided by dharma means? Materialistic person means a person living in their own planet. See, there is a real world, and then there is the world that we all live in. Again, I repeat, there is a real world out here, and then there is a world that we all live in. In the world that we all live in, who is the most important person in your world? In the real world, is there anybody important? In the real world, nobody is important. In your world, who's important? You are the most important person in your world. Now, you look at life through your world, or you look at life through the real world. You always look at life through your world only. Why? Because in your world, you are the most important person, and whatsoever happens in the real world must happen according to what? According to your imaginary world. Are you able to follow till now? Now what happens is, because you live in that because you look at life from that imaginary world, what will be your approach towards world? Fulfilling your desires without any guidelines, without anything. You will not bother to do anything. From this, when you are living life like this materialistic person, what will be called as? You are a taker. You are a taker. Not only you are a taker, you believe the entire creation must give you, and you feel you are entitled to take. Are you able to follow? This entitlement that you feel is called selfishness. Are you able to follow till now? From this, the next level of growth. What is the next level of growth? Please recognize you are not the only person in this planet. There is one more person. So just add one person to your life. Yeah, that's called Grihastha Ashrama. Just add one person to your life and see how much are you able to accommodate that one person. But then we say, except that one person, I can love everybody, sir. I can be loving and affectionate to everybody except that one human being, whoever that person is. Therefore, the second level of growth is what? You are fulfilling your desires, and you are fulfilling your desires in a dharmic way. This transformation will come with you. Are you able to follow? This transformation that you want to live dharmic as a conviction will come with you in your next birth. Are you able to follow what will come with you? The conviction that you want to fulfill your desires dharmically will come with you in your next life. Extend it further and further and further. Now, what will come with you? Supposing you have lived dharmically, but then still you are interested in fulfilling your desires also. You are dharmic, at the same time you are interested in fulfilling your desires. From that, the next level of conviction is what? I will live life a karma yogi. I will live life like a karma yogi. What is karma yogi? Doing only obligatory duties, panchamahayajna, etc. All that, whatever you have studied as karma yoga. Once you have developed that conviction, what will come with you? That conviction will come with you. So you will be born as a dharmic person, or you will be born as a karma yogi, or you will be born as a sannyasi. Ram Subramaniam. Purida? This is how you will be born, because that will come with you. Now, this is called knowledge of Brahman. Knowledge of Brahmana, Nirguno, Nishkriyo, Nirvikalpo, Niranjanaha, knowledge. What you are convinced about. If you are convinced about dharmic, you will be a dharmic person. If you are convinced about being a karma yogi, you will be born as a karma yogi. If you have done all this work and you have matured into a sannyasi, you will be born into a sannyasi. So knowledge of Brahman equals what now? All this combined spiritual practices will result in a conviction and you will be born with that conviction. Vijay, Purida, you will be born with that conviction, you will be born. That conviction is what is called as knowledge of Brahman. In this classroom, we use knowledge of Brahman in the sense of a conviction. We don't use knowledge of Brahman as in the knowledge of Nirguno, Nishkriya, Nityu, Upanishadic words and Brahman and etc. and all that. Because that's a product of effort, and when memory goes, that also goes. When memory goes, that also goes. But what will not go? The conviction. You follow? In English, we call it as conviction. Instead of using the word conviction, use the word shraddha. The practices will develop a shraddha and you will be born with that shraddha. You will be born, you will have full shraddha in being a materialistic person, or you will have full shraddha in being a dharmic person, you will have full shraddha in being a karma yogi, or you will have full shraddha in being a sannyasi. Or fifth category ஒன்று இருக்கு. அந்த category I don't know where we even get that category. That category is the fifth category. Yeah, just that. At birth itself, they are realized. Birth lende prarabdha karma than they live. Yeah, at birth itself, they are realization at birth itself, and then they live 60, 70, 80 years as an enlightened. Imagine going to kindergarten school as an enlightened person. Oh my God, I don't know what will be that life. And yet there are very rare categories that also exist. You follow? Like, take a simple example. Krishna, when he was the Kuti Krishna, Bala Krishna, he showed Vishwarupa to Yashoda. What will he learn from Sandipini? In fact, who should learn from whom? Yes, Sandipini should learn from Krishna. What Krishna is going to learn from Sandipini? What is Vasishta going to learn from Rama? Sorry, what is Rama going to learn from Vasishta? Yeah, Vasishta should learn from Rama. Yeah, and there are those rare categories. Yeah, those rare categories is what we call as Avatara Purushas. There are enlightened people and then there are Avatara Purushas. And out of syllabus is Avatara Purusha is always out of syllabus. We will not talk about them at all. Therefore, what we will talk about: materialistic person, dharmic person, karma yogi, sannyasi, self-realization. Anje category da. Are you able to follow? Materialistic person, dharmic person, karma yogi, sannyasi, and enlightened. Is it okay, Ram Subramaniam? Did you get the answer? So, enna varum? The combined spiritual practice of Shravana, Manana, and the bhakti that you do and the karma that you do, all that combined will result in a shraddha, and that shraddha is called knowledge of Brahman, and that will come with you because memory cannot take that away. Memory is related to the sharira, and when memory goes, we don't understand memory. We are all living because of memory. That's all. It's just memory. I go out of the house, I come back into the same house because of what? Because of memory. There are few people, there are few things where we have encountered. It's so scary. Yeah. And we don't even understand the blessed state of us. The person walks out of the house, goes to the street corner, memory is lost. Complete memory is lost. He's just standing on the road, not knowing who he is, where he is, why, etc. 3-4 weeks later, the whole memory comes back. For some, it doesn't come back at all. Now, knowledge of Brahman, will it go away when any of these things happen? No. Knowledge of Brahman will not go away, because what we mean by knowledge of Brahman is the Shraddha and the maturity that you have gotten into. What is the maturity? Materialistic, dharmic, karma yogi, sannyasi, enlightened. In the language of 5th chapter, you have to call it as yogi, sannyasi, jnani. Because Krishna enlightened person, how low can he come down? Yeah. In this classroom, we can come to any low. Yeah. Yeah. Therefore, in this classroom, we come to any low. As a teacher, not as a student, I'm saying. As a teacher, we can come to it. Therefore, we will talk about dharma, we will talk about all that here. But for Krishna, starting point itself is yogi. Just as starting point of bhakti for Krishna is Vishwarupa. Starting point of Krishna's bhakti is Vishwarupa. Ekarupa, Anekarupa doesn't even exist in the syllabus for him. But then what do we do here? Dilute panni. Or one stage, only dilution, water is left behind. What is the essence in that? We don't know. Yeah. We go on diluting. You add water. From potla pata, only water is there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ram Subramaniam. Okay, va? Yes.
So in the dharmic level, is there any gradation I could not follow? Because you said that anyway, first level is totally materialistic, where you try to fulfill your likes and dislikes regardless of what is around. You are concerned only about you. But the next level, you say that you fulfill your likes and dislikes, but align it with dharma.
Yes.
So when you are saying it, align it with your dharma, so is it that the first stage in the dharmic level is only me? Then the second level goes to me plus one more person, then me plus 2 plus 3. Is it like that in gradation? Does it happen in dharmic level?
Yes. Is there gradations in dharmic level? Gradations as in your ability to accommodate a larger group as you are interested in fulfilling your desires also. That is gradations in dharmic level. As you want your desires to be fulfilled, you are able to accommodate a larger. The difference between the dharma and the karma yoga, the shift is sakama karma to nishkama karma. In dharma, sakama karma. But still that person is not matured enough to come to nishkama karma. Therefore, sakama karma plus dharma makes you mature to come to nishkama karma, which is karma yoga. Now, in karma yoga, what are you doing?
Is it doing with like do obligatory duty, continue to accommodate people?
In karma yoga, okay, understand it like this. It makes it very simple. In materialistic approach, success is directly proportional to acquisition and hoarding. How much you have acquired and how much you have successfully hoarded. That is success as far as materialistic life is concerned. Yeah. Now, in spiritual approach, success is directly proportional to what?
Sharing.
Tyaga, sharing. Dharma is in between two. In karma yoga, you are only sharing. In materialistic life, you are only hoarding. When we say hoarding, you can share only when you call someone as mine. So in materialistic life, to share you have to call the other person as mine. Are you able to follow? That's why so all that I earn and keep is only for, ultimately for children only, no, sir. Mine, that's all it is. Are you able to follow? So in materialistic approach, it is only acquisition, hoarding, and sharing will happen only when it is mine. In Karma Yoga, Nishkam, in Karma Yoga, the other extreme. Now, Dharma is a combination of both. Dharma will have a shade of materialistic approach. Dharma will have a shade of Karma Yoga approach. Are you able to follow? It will have both mixed in it. That's why I understand the two extremes, points, and then Dharma comes in between. What is Dharma now? You earn, you acquire according to the prescribed rules. Number two, whatsoever you have acquired to the prescribed rules, you are willing to share. To whom? To those outside mine also. Are you able to follow? When you are sharing to those outside mine, there is one. What happens here? There is a pain. Yeah, there is a pain. We should give, sir, but we should give very patra. We have to look at the person and only we should give. No. Are you able to follow? A materialistic person will say, you go and ask him, give. He'll say, no, I should give according to the patra. Patra means knowing the recipient's capacity and give accordingly. Okay, have you followed the same principle in relation to your children? If you turn back and ask, what is the answer? What are you talking? What absurd question is this? Because it is my children, no rules will apply there. Are you able to follow? In Karma Yoga, there is no mindness at all, relatively speaking. Therefore, there are grades like that. And it's a broad category where it will be overlapping little bit. Little bit of overlapping will be there. Exactly like coffee with sugar, without sugar is very clear, isn't it? Supposing if they say half sugar, little bit sugar, what will you do? It gets very confused, correct? Because it's a shade of. Are you able to follow?
So are you saying that dharmic life means fulfillment of likes and dislikes plus increasing the circle of identification? But
Yes.
fulfillment of likes is definitely there.
Yes.
And in Karma Yoga lifestyle, there is no fulfillment of likes and dislikes. You are doing only obligatory duty.
Yes.
And continuing to increase the circle of identification also.
Yes.
Is it like that?
Yes. In Karma Yoga, there is no attempt to increase the circle of identification. In Karma Yoga, you are interested only in doing your Nitya. You are interested only in doing your Nitya Naimittika Karma. Circle of identification and all comes only at the level of Dharma. In Karma Yoga, there is only Nitya Naimittika Karma. The sequence is clear. Are you able to follow?
Does it mean that the person has already accommodated a larger circle?
Yes.
Therefore, he doesn't require in Karma Yoga?
Yes, because Dharma itself gives a maturity of identification. Karma Yoga will not give identification. Karma Yoga tells you do Nitya Naimittika Karma. That's all. See, today problem of Vedanta that we have today is we have put everything in one mixie and mixed it up everything together. We are not even able to understand what goes where. Yeah, mixie lo put ella what is it? Huh? Well, everything is so mixed up. Like Chivuda it is, isn't it? Able to follow? Now, Dharma means circle of identification is increased in Dharma. Why? Because circle of identification comes only in Dharma. Why? Because there are other people also. In order to fulfill my desires, I should not run over others. What is identification? Are you able to follow? What is circle of identification means? To fulfill my desires, I will not run over the other. Materialistic world will say, materialistic principle will say, in order to achieve success, run over the other. That's the only way you can achieve success, by running over the other. Spiritual success is you don't run over the other. Sir, if I don't run over the other, how can I do business then? Yeah. In business, I have to advertise. And what does advertisement means? What does advertisement means? Convince the fellow that without that you cannot live. Yeah. What is advertisement? You have to convince that fellow, make that fellow believe that it is so much vital to life that you can't live life without it. And then you are, whether it is important or not is not the point. Are you able to follow? Now, from this materialistic approach, you try to be dharmic there. Whatever dharma is, we are not discussing that. From dharma, you mature into karma yoga. Are there grades in dharma? There are grades in every level because you don't move from, when you enter the third standard and fourth standard, are you in third standard or grades between third standard and fourth standard? Third standard person 6 months is past. Are you in third standard? Are you in fourth standard? Where are you? Both. Because it's a mix, always a shade of both will be there. For we cannot compartmentalize like suddenly take another example. 17 years, 364 days. You are a child. 12 o'clock, midnight, you get matured. 18th birthday. Does it happen like that? Are you able to follow? Shades, no? Like that, everything is shades only. And what are those shades? We don't discuss in a classroom like this. We only say there are shades. Shades will be discussed only when that person is on an individual basis for certain particular purposes only. That particular shade will be noticed. Otherwise, in a classroom, we say we talk about there are grades. In the grades, there are shades. Are you able to follow? There are shades. Okay.
So it's only a broad classification.
It's a broad classification. It's not a compartmentalization, because life doesn't allow compartmentalization like that. It's always shades. That's why we always say yes or no. Answer is yes and no. Yes or no. No, life doesn't give us that luxury of compartmentalizing like that. Why? Because it's always, everything is shades. Objectivity comes. Once you understand that, you become objective. Any other question? Couple of classes back, the word Salokyam, Sarupyam, Samipyam, and Sayujyam is used. Please explain these terms and how they are relevant to the topic of Bhakti Yoga and spiritual evolution. Later on verses, we are going to study that in detail. Venkat. Later on verses, these 4 words are going to be studied in detail. When we go into that verses, we will know how they are relevant to the topic of Bhakti Yoga. Now, I'm not discussing those 4 words. I'm only answering how they are relevant to the topic of Bhakti Yoga. How are they relevant? Salokyam, Sarupyam, Samipyam, and Sayujyam are the distance between you and the beloved. These 4 words describes what is the distance between you and your beloved. Who's the beloved here? Amit. You only ask this question. Who asked this? Amit. Amit. Who's the beloved here? God. God is the. So what is the distance between you and God? One is Salokyam. Please in the near, please in the area I have come. Then comes Salokyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam and Sayujyam. Sayujyam is the culmination of bhakti. What is Sayujyam, the culmination of bhakti? The two becomes one. Culmination of bhakti is the two becomes one. That's why in love we say, we are one, they say no. So the two becoming one is called love. The two becoming one is called bhakti. And this happens in stages. Again, what are the stages? Salokyam, Samipyam, Saropyam, Sayujam, whatever be that, which we will be discussing. Is one of the verses is going to discuss that in detail. We are just introducing the terms that we will be using here. Context is that the distance between you and, it's like the map. When you sit in the flight, they keep showing you, no? The distance, the distance, the distance. As you are getting closer into the Arabian Sea, oh, Bada, you are getting closer into India. And then it comes near. You are not even landed, but the flight is just gotten into India. You have. And then it comes still closer. From the window, you are peeping out. You are seeing from the window, you are peeping out. The city is seen. More joy. Yeah, more joy. And then it has landed. Much more joy. You are coming down. And the person is waiting there to pick you up at the air. And then you are carrying, you have to wait for your luggage to come. And the person is standing there at the other side of the glass. What is that called? Sarupyam. And then you pick all the luggage up and you go out and meet the person. And then you give a hug. The hug is so tight that the two is becoming one. That is Sayuji. That's all. Sometimes in affection, you hug the person so tight, no, the other bones are crushed, isn't it? Why? They're not intending to break you into pieces. Yeah, they're not intending to create fractures. That being two is very painful. The two should become one. That's all. As long as the two remains, there is a pain. As long as the two is in, as long as we remain as two, differences are there, it is painful. So the two should become one. Is there anything else? Through our different stages of spiritual evolution, activities need to remain the same based on Swadharma. Correct. However, our endeavor should be to change our attitude to spiritually evolve till we reach moksha. Even past moksha, our activity needs to remain the same. Correct. How should, for example, a business person's attitude change in brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa while doing the same activity, also realizing moksha? What's your problem? How should a businessman's attitude change in brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa while doing the same activity, also after realizing moksha? Idu yaru? Okay. Oh, he's okay. In brahmacharya, nothing changes. You are only learning, studying. There's nothing there. When you come into grihastha as a business person, what attitude change means guna change. Attitude change means the change of gunas. What is the change of guna means? Remember the 4 categories that we have said? What are the 4 categories? The 4 categories. So many times I have said it. S, R, T, Abram? RST, அப்புறம் RTS, அப்புறம் TRS. You have these 4 written down. Like a ladder, you must go up. At the lowest level of the business person, you will be having the guna proportion of TRS. As you gain higher knowledge and knowledge and knowledge, you are supposed to reach the stage of SRT. When you reach the stage of SRT, by the principles of Karma Yoga, etc., your activity will not change, your guna will change. Change of guna will not result in change of activity. That's the mistake. Biggest mistake that people are making is when guna proportion changes, activity also will change. Krishna is saying no. Tragedy, all those who read Bhagavad Gita will change their activity because I have studied Bhagavad Gita. The first lesson of Bhagavad Gita itself is not understood. Why? Because the first lesson of Bhagavad Gita is what? In your Swadharma karma alone, you need to achieve it, howsoever painful it is. Because sometimes your Swadharma karma can be very, very painful. Swadharma karma can be painful at times. Because it is painful, you don't drop it, you go back. But then people don't understand. They get so excited because we always seek variety. Change of activity is what is interesting to us. Keeping to a same activity requires discipline. Changing activity is just being indisciplined. And what will we like, discipline or indiscipline? Naturally indiscipline only, no? And then we can justify it by saying, no, because I want to do something noble, better, good, I must change. No, it doesn't work that way. Therefore, a business person should go from lowest another TRS to SRT. A teacher must go from TRS to SRT. A Kshatriya must go from TRS to SRT. A business person must grow from TRS to SRT. After moksha, let's not worry about that. After moksha, it will continue by itself. Therefore, what changes? The guna proportion changes. The change of the guna proportion is called the change of attitude. We don't know how to connect the guna proportion with attitude. So we think changing attitude. Now you can't change attitude unless you change your guna proportion. And how does your guna proportion change? That's a sequence I discussed already in the previous question to Ram Subramaniam. How does the guna proportion change? Dharmic to Karma Yogi to Sannyasi. Next question. I heard, depending on which Ishta Devata someone worships, it's possible to reveal their primary desires. It's like a trade secret. For devotees who worship Lakshmi and Saraswati, the desires are wealth and knowledge. Okay. What are the primary desires of those who worship Krishna, Rama, Vishnu, Ganesha, Shiva, Kali? From where you are hearing all this? Don't say you said it, huh? I don't know from where you are hearing all these stories. And don't say you only said it in that class, in this class, in this class. That's why I hate this recording. Because they record and then say, sir, they will show my audio recording also. You only said it. I don't know why they even record all this and give it issues. The Ishta Devata that you choose will have a nature of, will have a nature of yours. Like for example, who will choose Ganesha? For which you must have some understanding of Ganesha, isn't it? Ganesha means Vigna Ishwara. So much of obstacles if you are facing in life, who will you naturally go to? Are you able to follow? Ganesha only you will go to. Krishna. Who will go to Krishna? Who will want to go to Krishna? Those who want to lie, those who want to cheat. Huh? Who will go to Krishna? Erase Krishna. He's a universal God. Even a thief will find some attraction in Krishna. A dharmic person will find some attraction in Krishna. Adharmic people also will find some attraction in Krishna. Now, who will go to Krishna? Now, who will go to Rama? A person who values discipline will go to Rama. Are you able to follow? Therefore, there is a connection like that. There is a connection. In a very broad way, you can say it. In a very broad way, it can. What you are worshipping shows what you are interested in. For example, you can never go to Krishna and say, remove all my troubles. The priest will get confused. The priest will say, no, for that you have to go to Ganesha only, he will say. Because each and every god has one distinct human value. Each and every god represents a human, a value. Rama values discipline. Krishna values. What does Krishna value? See, to him, being a Sakshi, objectivity is his value. Being Sakshi, being objective is his value. Ganesha, obstacles. Lakshmi, wealth. Saraswati, Vidya. So it depends. Next one. I'll come back. Yes. When I study individual topics, for example, Karma Yoga, the subject makes at least partial sense and comes with a lifestyle to follow. Correct. The path from adharma to moksha, linear and sequential, at least in theory. Sorry. However, when I attempt to connect the dots across different topics into a wholesome understanding and a lifestyle, things fall apart for me. Correct. Could you please connect the dots for the subjects we have covered so far? I connected already this morning, Ram Subramaniam. In Ram Subramaniam sessions, I connected the dots. From what I understand, now I'm coming back to the question. From what I understand, we start with adharma and the selfish fulfillment of our desires. Correct. Then we follow dharma and keep working to fulfill our desires, artha kama. Correct. Next, we take a U-turn. U-turn is very important. As we realize the futility of pursuing desires. Correct. Then we pursue the path of Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, we fulfill our obligations out of gratitude. Questions. Are we in Karma Yoga still working towards the fulfillment of our desires or the elimination of desires? Karma Yoga, elimination of desires, not fulfillment. Why? Because you have fulfilled desires in a dharmic way and found nothing has happened. In Sakama Karma, are we still pursuing our desires? Yes. Is Nishkama Karma doing our work without desires? Is Nishkama Karma doing our work without desires? Yes. To change Sakama Karma to Nishkama Karma, we take a sankalpa for Jnana Vairagya. That Nishkama Karma to Sakama Karma to Nishkama Karma, we take a sankalpa, Jnana Vairagya. What does Jnana Vairagya means? Jnana Vairagya means the detachment that you have developed is permanent. Vairagya means detachment. Jnana Vairagya means the detachment that comes out of education, which is permanent. Otherwise, we all get detached temporarily. Everybody gets detached temporarily. There are types of Vairagya. Prasava Vairagya, Purana Vairagya, Smashana Vairagya. And then there is Jnana Vairagya. Purana Vairagya, motivational talk. You go to a motivational talk, you are so inspired. You can be inspired for 1 day, 2 days, 2 months, 3 months, but it will, few years also you can have that Purana Vairagya. It will go down. Then comes Smashana Vairagya. What is Smashana Vairagya? Suddenly life becomes meaningless if death of anything, life becomes meaningless. The death of the person, life becomes meaningless. The death of a love, life becomes meaningless. The death of a friendship, life becomes meaningless. So the death of anything, suddenly you feel life is meaningless. Smashana Vairagya means not only the physical death of the person, the death of anything makes you feel life is meaningless. So suddenly you feel, I am not interested in anything at all. Nothing is interesting me. Not that you have attained Jnana Vairagya. It is Smashana Vairagya. The third one is Prasava Vairagya. Prasava Vairagya is the indulgence that causing pain, you temporarily decide not to indulge again. That's called Prasava Vairagya. You indulge. That indulgence will result in a pain. Just as you have chilli bhaji, next morning, and the next 3 days is Naraka, isn't it? In that 3 days, you take a pratigya, you take a vow that never again I will touch that bhaji. Fifth day, ready for 2 more. This is called. So, and what is the principle behind it? An indulgence will result in pain. When you are going through that pain, you take a vow that never again I will indulge. Few days, few hours or a few days. Are you able to follow? All this is not growth. Jnana Vairagya. Jnana Vairagya means the growth that happens through conviction. You leave it never to pick it up again. You leave it never to pick it up again. That's called Jnana Vairagya. Aladana? Oh, one more is there. Okay. In Sakama Bhakti, oh, we finished that? No. 4 முடிச்சிட்டோம்ல? Yeah, 4. Yes. In Sakama Bhakti, we choose our deity in accordance with our desires. Is it real Bhakti Yoga if we still seek to fulfill our desires? At adharma level, seek a deity. Only when you have matured in dharma, it is real bhakti or not real bhakti. Again, Amit, to answer question number 4, it all depends on your level. Don't theoretically say which is real bhakti. At least I don't discuss theoretical bhakti here. At whatsoever level you are, that bhakti is real. Theoretically speaking, everything is futile, everything is maya, even this classroom is useless. Now what do we do? So never take that stance of theoretically. Is worshipping a deity true bhakti or not? Is dependent upon whom? Is dependent on the person. Per se, you cannot ask what is true bhakti. Because there is no such thing called true bhakti per se without the practitioner. Bhakti is only when the practitioner comes. Without the practitioner, there is no such thing called bhakti yoga. Per se, what is bhakti? Per se, what is karma? Per se, what is jnanam? It makes no. You will be utterly confused. Therefore, the answer is always in relation to the practitioner. Who is the practitioner? You ask, according to him, the answer will be given. Is it real bhakti or not? For a dharmic person, for a materialistic person, picking an idol and trying to fulfill the desires in a dharmic way, believing that deity is the law, is true bhakti. for a materialistic person trying to fulfill desires and picking up a deity, and the deity is the law, becomes true bhakti. We don't simply sit and theorize here. Theoretically, what is true bhakti? Theoretically, there's no such thing called bhakti, because there's only one. Where is bhakti? Tatu Tvamasi. Where is bhakti here? So theoretically speaking, bhakti karma doesn't have any locus standi at all. There's no locus at all for it to exist. Next one. In Sakama Bhakti, the deity represents your desire. What does this mean? In Nishkama Bhakti, the deity represents Brahman. However, our desires are still the same. So, how is it Nishkama? This we have already answered. In Nishkama Bhakti, there is no desire. In Sakama Bhakti alone, there is desire. In Nishkama Karma, is there desire? We discussed it already. There is no desire here already. It is Nishkama itself means without desire. So in Nishkama Bhakti, there is no desire at all involved. In Sakama Bhakti only there is desire involved. Desire for Brahman is not like desire for a car. Understand the difference. You have a desire for a car, you have a desire for a property, you have a desire for a person, you have a desire for a name, you have a desire for fame, you have a desire for Brahman. Are they the same? Therefore, desire for Brahman will never come under the category of desire at all. That therefore we say Nishkama Karma doesn't have desire. Desire means you don't have it, you are unhappy not having it, you are miserable, suffering not having it, and only when you get it, you can be happy. What is desire? Desire means you don't have it, and not having it makes you miserable. Having it makes you believe you will be happy. This is called a desire, correct? In Nishkama Karma, in Brahman, there is no such thing. Therefore, we say Nishkama Karma is not a desire at all. Nishkama Karma doesn't come under desire. Sakama Karma comes under desires. Okay, va? Is a combination of Sakama Bhakti, Sakama Karma, Karma Yoga, or is a combination of Nishkama Bhakti, Nishkama Karma, Karma Yoga? Combination of Nishkama Bhakti, Nishkama Karma is Karma Yoga. He's asking, Sakama equals Nishkama. Every varum. Basic mathematics. Amit. Yeah. Basic mathematics. Sakama plus Sakama equals Sakama. Nishkama plus Nishkama equals Nishkama. So Nishkama Karma and Nishkama Bhakti alone becomes Karma Yoga. Sakama Karma and Sakama Bhakti is not Karma Yoga. Sakama Karma and Sakama Bhakti, you can call it as Dharma. In a way, you can call it as Dharma, that's all. But you can never call it as Karma Yoga. Yes. Can we do Nishkama Bhakti without Nishkama Karma, or do they go hand in hand? Action and attitude goes together. You cannot have a Nishkama attitude and Sakama Karma. So Nishkama Karma, Nishkama Bhakti will always goes hand in hand. Like, with all attitude of service and sacrifice, I'm a murderer. Can it ever happen like that? It will never ever happen like that. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, Nishkama karma and Nishkama bhakti goes hand in hand. Sakama karma and Nishkama attitude will never come, because they are mutually contradictory. Attitude is right, but action is wrong. Will it happen like that? Right attitude, sir, but action is wrong. Does it happen like that? Right attitude will be followed by right action. Right attitude will necessarily be followed by right action. Now we work backwards. If the action is wrong, we infer. If the action is wrong, we infer attitude is wrong. Because we don't have access to the attitude of anybody. We only have access to the action. So right attitude will be followed by right action. Now work backwards. Right action implies that you necessarily have right. Both will not mix. Oh, any questions then? When we move from Karma Yoga to Sannyasa, we focus on Jnanam and Mahavakya and give up Nitya Naimittika Karma. Okay. We at this stage attempt to realize we are God. Is this correct? Yes, you are correct. When we move from Karma Yoga to Sannyasa, the attempt is to understand that you are God. In Karma Yoga, you are worshipping God. In Sannyasa, you are saying, I am God. So there is the difference. And to say I am God, you should have dropped your ego so much through Karma Yoga. Without dropping the ego through Karma Yoga and Nishkama Karma, etc., you should never ever say I am God. Without all this, if you say I am God, you will end up like becoming a Hiranyakashipu. Because Hiranyakashipu also said I am God, isn't it? Hiranyakashipu also said I am God. Without Nishkama Karma, without maturity, if you start saying I am God, Narasimha will come and ensure that your ego gets. And you know how Narasimha comes, no? Narasimha will not come with peacock feather and flute and all. How Narasimha will come? Yeah. And for most, Narasimha is better, I guess. So Krishna is not that helpful. Narasimha is helpful a lot. Mudijada? Mudijada. Yes.
Two questions.
Yes.
So first question, when you say highly sattvic person, you never say SSS, you always say SRT, as in S is predominant. There is no state called SSS in highly sattvic person.
Highly sattvic person also has rajas and tamas. That's what we keep saying. Is there a state where a person is only sattvic? No. For example, if you don't have tamoguna at all, a sattvic person doesn't have little bit of, if a sattvic person doesn't have little bit of tamoguna, you can never sleep. And if the body doesn't sleep, what will happen? So tamoguna is essential. I discussed this in some of the classes previously. Some aspect of tamoguna must be eliminated. Some aspect of tamoguna is essential to life. Some aspect of rajoguna must be eliminated. Some aspect of rajoguna is vital to life. For if rajoguna isn't there, action is impossible. But then we need to keep, as long as the instrument is there, we have to keep performing action. So obviously what it means is there will be rajoguna and there will be tamoguna. But what will happen is the negative aspects of rajoguna, tamoguna will not be there in a sattvic person. That's all. Understand it like that. Not elimination of Rajoguna, elimination of some negative aspects. As in Tamoguna also. That person, irresponsibility will go, heedlessness will go, but sleep will remain. Yeah, sleep should remain. Supposing sleep doesn't remain, that person will, body will die very soon. Action has to happen. Therefore, Rajoguna is, you follow?
Second question. So you said that karma yoga is nishkamya karma and nishkamya bhava. So when a person has to come to nishkamya karma and bhava, it means he has understood the futility of desiring.
He has understood a dharmic way of living life, and the dharmic way of living life gives only certain temporary benefits, and it doesn't bring about an inner transformation. A dharmic way of living is a prerequisite, not futility of desiring. Sannyasi understands the futility of desiring. Don't keep mixing up levels. I'm trying to segregate the levels very clearly. At a dharmic level, fulfillment of desires. Adharmic way of fulfilling desires, agitations. Dharmic way of fulfilling desires is what happens? Dharmic way of fulfilling desires. Punya karma comes, kshine punye. Then comes karma yoga. What is karma yoga then? Instead of running around doing fulfilling desires and going back to the chakra again and again and again, what need to do? The Shastra says you need to do your Nitya Naimittika karma. No more desires driving actions. The command of the Shastra drives action. When the command of the Shastra drives action, that is called karma yoga. Who tells you Nitya Naimittika karma has to be done? Are you able to follow? So karma yoga is the command driven by the Shastra gives the command and you perform actions in that manner. You follow?
No, because you said that nishkamya karma is elimination of desire is driving the action. So elimination of desire happens only when you understand the futility of the desire.
Elimination of desires is not, I'm talking about the starting point or shift from dharma to nishkama karma. You are taking nishkama karma to the extreme. Nishkama karma in the extreme is no desires. I'm not talking about the extreme state of nishkama karma. I'm always talking about the starting point of dharma. I'm always restricting the discussion to the starting point of dharma. I'm restricting the discussion to the starting point of nishkama karma, karma yoga. I am not discussing the end of dharma. I am not discussing the end of karma yoga. I never discuss that. You follow?
So what is the wrong understanding? I'm not able to follow.
The futility of desiring. Once you understood the futility of desiring, you become there's no nishkama karma after that. The moment you understand the futility of desiring, you become what happens to you? You become a sannyasi.
So what is the shift from dharma to karma yoga then?
Nitya Naimittika karma alone, not fulfilling desires in a dharmic way. The shift from dharma to karma yoga, any number of times I have repeated it. Doing only Nitya Naimittika karma.
Because fulfillment of desire is not going to take you.
Doing Nitya Naimittika karma only. Why? Why? Because command of the scripture there. The scriptures have told you, do only Nitya Naimittika karma. Therefore, I am doing Nitya Naimittika karma. For what I know is living a dharmic way of life, and the dharmic way of life is keeping me, is bringing me back to agitations again and again and again. Here, the focus is on agitations and frustrations. The focus is not on eliminating desires.
How dharmic way is bringing on back to agitation?
Because once the punya goes down, how dharmic way of life brings agitation back. Once the punya goes down, what will happen? Agitations comes back. When punya goes down, what will come back? Kshine punya. We have studied that. When punya goes down, what will come back? Agitations alone will come back. Why? Because at the core, what is there? Agitations is there at the core. Why agitation is there at the core? Ignorance is there at the core. Because ignorance is there at the core, agitations will be there at the core. To a person who is selfish, to tell that person get rid of desires is a futile advice. Therefore, I'm bringing in dharma and karma yoga a lot. Because theoretically, you can understand the futility of desires. As soon as the class gets over, what will happen? What will take over? I'm not worried about what is happening in the class. I'm worried about what's happening to you outside the class. Are you able to follow? What happens to you outside the classroom? Desires takes over. To that person, when desires is taking over, to repeatedly saying, desires, get rid of desires. Desires, get rid of this doesn't help. Therefore, first to become dharmic. Are you able to follow? In dharmic, what are you doing? Have you eliminated your desires in dharmic level?
Fulfilling
Desires dharmically. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. What happens? Consequence of that is? Consequence of that is?
Satisfaction.
Punya.
Yeah.
Consequence of that is punya. Is that eternal, permanent punya? Is it eternal? It is Is it eternal punya? Is it permanent state? Yes or no? No. It means once the punya gets exhausted, where will you come back to?
Trying to fulfill the desire.
Next desire. Next desire. So you are caught in the cycle of fulfilling the desires.
Okay.
And you do not know anything else.
Yes, sure.
You have not yet understood the futility of desiring. You don't know anything else.
Yeah.
At that time, Shastra comes and tells you, do Nitya Naimittika karma alone. Because you have Shraddha in what the Shastra says, you do Nitya Naimittika karma alone. Not that you have understood the futility of desires to do karma yoga. It is purely the Shastric command. Why? What you know is not helping you, and you do not know anything else, therefore you trust. Then you do Nitya Naimittika karma, etc. You follow certain practices, you mature into what? Desiring itself is futile. That is sannyas. That is why the person who has understood desiring is futile no more needs to do Nitya Naimittika karma. That's why sannyasi doesn't have any Nitya Naimittika karma to perform. Only a karma yogi has Nitya Naimittika karma to perform. Symbolically, even today, when the ritual of sannyasa happens, what do? They take up aqua robe, no? They take up aqua robe, symbolic of what? Nitya Naimittika karma is over. It's a very bold stance for a human being to take, to say that my Nitya Naimittika karma is over. I don't know how people even have the courage to take that stance that my Nitya Naimittika karma is over. You follow what I'm saying? Therefore, Nishkama karma, as in Nitya Naimittika karma, you do only because of what?
Shastra's command.
Because of the Shastras have told you. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. The Shraddha. Shraddha. Why do you develop Shraddha in the Shastra now? Why do you develop Shraddha in the Shastra? Okay, when will you develop Shraddha in anybody? When will you develop Shraddha in the doctor? When will you develop Shraddha in anybody? Only when you know you can't do anything, you are helpless. Only when you know that you can't do anything by yourself, you are helpless, you will go on. I will follow. Dharma exposes the helplessness. Ego still believes that I can do something. In Karma Yoga, people believe that I can still do something. I am the doer. What kind of Karma Yoga it is where people say, I am the doer? So Karma Yoga itself requires a lot of dharmic maturity. And what is the dharmic maturity? The dharmic maturity comes from saying, I am helpless. Without guidance, I will not do anything. That's Shraddha. Without guidance, I will not do anything is the Shraddha. And whoever has that Shraddha gains the knowledge. What is the knowledge? Desiring is futile, sannyasi, moksha, etc. Therefore, nishkama karma, you do nitya naimittika karma only because of Shraddha. Why only Shraddha? All your known methods you have exhausted. All your known methods is not taking you anywhere. That's where Shraddha comes. Are you able to follow?
Taking anywhere means?
Punya. You go to Punya, Kshine, Punya, Kshine, Punya. You keep coming back again and again and again. Are you able to follow? It's not taking you anywhere means you are coming back into it. You are coming back into what? You are coming back into the same agitations again and again and again. The inner strength didn't happen. The inner strength has not happened. Still there is a fear. Still there is a vulnerability. Still there is insecurity. All that is there. How do you overcome all that? How do you overcome all that? From the core, you want it to be removed. Yeah. From world dependent, you become God dependent. From God dependent, you become independent. The other Aham Brahmasmi. From world dependent person to go and tell the world dependent person Aham Brahmasmi, does it help? Tattvamasi, does it help? So first you have to become God dependent. And I have said it any number of times. God is used in the sense of law. We have said it any number of times. So you can't keep asking the same thing again and again and again. When you are materialistic dependent, you become God dependent. God dependent means you choose to obey the law. When you choose to obey the law, you feel protected, but then you understand over a period of time that protection is also temporary. Therefore, you want to, when you are temporarily protected, you want to do something and become permanent protection. So first you have to feel temporarily protected. From temporary protection, you can do something and become quickly dependent. A plant needs a sapling needs a fence. A sapling needs a fence. The fence should not stunt the growth. And the sapling should overcome the need of the fence. Are you able to follow? Sapling or fence verno. The fence should not stunt the growth. The sapling should use the protective environment of the fence and quickly become strong. Yeah. That dharma is the fence. You need that fence in the beginning. You can't ridicule and dismiss the fence and straight away try to become independent. It doesn't work that way. But nevertheless, it is a fence. So when you are into the temporary protection, make use of it rightly and quickly outgrow the need of the fence. Quickly outgrow the need of the fence, but be grateful to the fence. Therefore, what will you do? You will say, is fence important or not?
Yes.
Is fence important or not? Yes and no. As a sapling, fence is important. For a full-grown tree, it's redundant. Why? The roots are already stable.
So the shift from dharmic living to karma yoga living is by virtue of dharmic living, you realize that fulfillment of the practice of fulfillment of desire is not taking you anywhere. Therefore, you shift to
in
obeying the
dharmic
law.
level, you feel temporarily protected. In dharmic level, you feel temporarily protected, but there is no permanent protection. Desiring, I am not using the word desire at all. You keep bringing in the word desiring again and again and again. I am not bringing in the word desiring at all. You feel protected, but that protection is, temporary. This is theory. Temporary protection is theoretical because we don't even feel the temporary protection now. Are you able to follow? We don't even feel the temporary protection because our protection is still coming from the bank balance. Yeah, our protection is still coming from the digits in the bank. Yeah, 4 digit irundha suicide, 5 digit irundha okay, 6 digits irundha manageable, 7 digits irundha அப்பாடா, 8 digits irundha அப்ப வேதாந்தா பேசலாம் சார். Yeah, how does it work? Are you able to follow? I am talking about protection. I am not talking about desiring at all. Why? Because we are not matured enough to talk about desiring and overcoming desiring and all. We are not at that mature. Chumma theoretically, we keep talking here. That's why I always say, no, this classroom, you just keep listening to something like a time pass, forget it and move on. Don't take it seriously because we are just theorizing here. It's not about futility of desiring at all. It is about feeling a sense of protection because only in that protection, you can think, you can do something meaningful. When you are feeling exposed, threatened, you can never do anything meaningful. Therefore, a protection is required. Dharma gives that protection. So first to get that protection through dharmic life, and when you feel protected, instead of just falling off to sleep in that protection, you can make use of that protection rightly. Are you able to follow? What is making use of the protection rightly means? Shravana Manana. The Shravana Manana will give you the conviction. What is the conviction? What Shastra is saying is correct. Therefore, I will do as what the Shastras say. What the Shastra is saying? Desiring is Naraka. Desiring is Naraka. Swarga is a temporary break from Naraka. Desiring is Naraka. Swarga is a temporary break from Naraka. Therefore, go beyond Punya Vivarjita Pantaha. The sequence is very, very clearly they have established. Punya Vivarjita Pantaha. Therefore, you must go beyond the Punya and Apunya path you need to transcend. I don't understand that. You can't understand what that path is. You can only have, carefully follow now. You can't understand what that path is. You can only have Shraddha in that. Therefore, the starting point of Nishkama Karma is Shraddha. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Are you able to follow?
So the shift from dharmic living to karma yoga living is how a person feels protected from that standpoint.
Yes.
So initially a person feels protected by believing that in fulfillment of desires lies his protection. And then you shift to Shastric commandment saying in that
You
lies
missed
my
the point
protection.
completely. Fulfillment of desires is not the protection. By fulfillment of desire, I can have acquisition, and that acquisition is my protection.
That is the sequence, yes.
Acquisition is the protection. At materialistic level, the person says, material acquisition gives me protection. And then he understands that is not giving protection. Therefore, what is he doing now? That acquisition is trying to dharmic. Adharmic way of acquisition is not giving protection. Therefore, dharmic way of fulfilling desires gives protection. So what is the human being seeking? I have said this any number of times. Are we interested in fulfilling desires? We are interested in fulfilling desires because of what? Are we interested in desire? Are we interested in the result of the desire? Fulfilling desire is going to give happiness. So what are we seeking? Fulfilling desires is not the end. Desire is fulfilled, but you will be agitated. Are you okay with it? So when you say fulfillment of desires, fulfillment of desires, fulfillment of desires, what are you actually asking? Fulfillment of desires is what you want? I want a job, sir. Yes, job is given, but no salary will be given. Will you want it? No, no, no. I want a job which will give me a salary. Yeah, salary will be given, but that money you cannot use for anything. Will you want it? Are you able to follow? Desire is fulfilled. No, no. You are not interested in fulfilling desires. You are interested in gaining. You are interested in gaining happiness, and fulfillment of a desire is seen as a tool for happiness. And the sequence you should never forget the sequence. If you keep forgetting the sequence, we'll keep making these mistakes. So fulfillment of desires, fulfillment of desires, fulfillment of desires is not the point. Fulfillment of desires for happiness. That is implied there. Are you able to follow? Fulfillment of desires for happiness will not take you anywhere. Why? Because happiness can never come through. Happiness can never come through. Fill in the blanks. No. Happiness can never come from anything other than you. Happiness can never come from anything external. Acquisition means external. So happiness can never come from anything external. Happiness can never come from anything other than you. And the clarity varadhukku dhaan ivlo prayatnam. Are you able to follow? So fulfillment of desire is not because we are interested in the object of desire. Not because we are interested in the person. We are not interested in the object. We are not interested in the person. We are interested in the object because happiness is guaranteed through that person. Happiness is guaranteed through that object. So wherever happiness is guaranteed through object or person, you will crave for it, you will long for it. That is called fulfillment of desire. Are you able to follow? So here we are not talking about fulfillment of desire for happiness. Therefore, you should always connect it back to what? What you should connect it to? Happiness, 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 happiness. You can say happiness, peace, fulfillment, contentment, any word you can use. I'm not going, all these are synonymous. Yeah, you can use the word peace, you can use the word contentment, you can use the word joy, bliss, whatever be it. Are you interested in peace and happiness, or are you interested in fulfillment of desire? Ganesh, question purida. Are you interested in peace and happiness, or are you interested in fulfillment of desire? What are you interested in?
Peace.
Peace and happiness. A dharmic life is so much important, even to say it rightly, you have to live a dharmic life. Otherwise, theoretically, we'll say yes, 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 and we'll still go back seeking objects and beings only. Why? Because deep down the conviction is happiness is going to come through that object and being.
So in Nishkama Dharma, obligatory actions is going to give me peace, security, happiness. Is that the belief in Nishkama Dharma?
In Nishkama Karma, Shastras have commanded. Shastras have commanded, this is the way for you to moksha. Satya, Panta Vidato Devayanaha. Elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, this is the path ordained by me to moksha, peace and happiness. Okay, not use the word moksha, use the word peace and happiness. Use the word peace and happiness. Nishkama karma is the path to peace and happiness, is told by the Shastra. Therefore, you do that.
So level 1 is fulfillment of desire is the tool. In Nishkama Karma, obligatory duty is the tool for peace, security, happiness.
Yes,
And then you realize that that is also futile.
yes,
Later stage.
yes. Because once you do Nishkama Karma, what goes out? What goes out?
Craving.
What goes out? We have so much of layers and layers and layers of covering, dirt, karmas that has to get exhausted because we have taken so much and we are still continuing to take. That layers, how to remove those layers and the truth get revealed. Poshanne karshe yamasurya prajapatya vyuharashmin samuha yette rupam kalyanatamam. Adu varno and the rupam. How to see that rupam? Isavasya Upanishad, drama of realization, Saumitra, mantra number 16. Beautiful mantra. How to go through that? How to get to that stage? So much of chumma theory that thing is not, that covering is not going. In order to remove that covering, what you need to do? In order to remove the covering, what needs to be done? Nitya Naimittika Karma. That Nitya Naimittika Karma becomes your Dharma. Are you able to follow? That Nitya Naimittika Karma becomes your Dharma and it has to be done that way. So, Nitya Naimittika Karma is done for the sake of what? Nitya Naimittika Karma is done for the sake of what? There is the layer that is covering, and Shastra alone gives a prescription to remove that covering, and the prescription given is Nitya Naimittika Karma. It's a prescription given, and you will have no clue to that. Just as you go to the doctor, doctor gives the prescription, you are not another doctor. You are only a patient. You come out and Google the prescription, what will happen? Shraddha. Prescription is given. What is the prescription? Follow Nitya Naimittika Karma. Second opinion at the sir. Can I go and take second opinion, third opinion? Now, who will you go for second, third opinion? Shastra only, and he's going to say the same thing. Do Nitya, because nobody else will give a different. Yeah, nobody else will give a different prescription. Are you able to follow? Prescription is given by whom? Who has authority to give prescription? Sunil. Shastra alone gives. That's it. They give. So that prescription is taken purely on the merit of the Nishkama Karma is a prescription purely on the merit of the Shastra. Dharma, you don't have to purely rely on Shastra because at least there is a scope of you fulfilling that desires. So here and there you are getting some happiness. Dharma ka avlo Shastra pramanam deve illa. For Nishkama Karma, you are relying only on Shastra pramanam. But in case if the Shastra is wrong, what will happen, sir? In case if the Shastra is wrong, what will happen? It cannot go wrong at all because it is apaurishayam. If it is paurusha, it can go wrong. If it is created by a human being, it can go wrong. Because it is not created by any human being, it can never go wrong. Therefore, that's why the Shastra has given the title apaurishayam, not human made. For anything that is human made will have a limitation and it can go wrong. Therefore, we need not worry about Shastra becoming wrong. But sir, Shastra comes only through a guru. No. If the guru is wrong, that's your prarabdha karma, go through that period and the right to guru will come. Full stop. Even then there is no problem. It's a prarabdha karma. That's a yeah. If I'm stuck with the wrong guru, what will happen? No. It's your prarabdha karma. Is it okay? With this, we conclude. We'll continue if people allow us to move into the text.